Well, it's big news here at BackChat. Look, there's lots of things that go on week to week, but we lost a member of the podcast for a good, 48 hours there last week, and he has returned. Daniel Const, powered by Paywise, BackChat, of course, in season 2024. Dan, are you okay?
Yeah. West End Plumbing just had to send.
What, clogging your pipes?
Oh, mate, it was
really?
brutal. It was
Shitting
a brutal
too
week.
much.
It was just some of the worst gastro I've ever experienced.
Wow.
Just delusional.
Are you forgetting that you were taking hostage? Are you forgetting that?
Yeah.
You were kidnapped for a minute there.
No, I want to be honest. No, it's good to be back. Just really appreciate everything the AFL's done over the past weekend. Umpiring decisions have been great. West Coast lost, but that's okay. It was a good game. Go Sport.
I was going to ask, like, don't
really
the
bad
Russians, like, don't they do the injectables? Like, you'll be walking down the airport and you cop a little, like, side swipe and then you gastro and spew yourself to death?
Yeah, that's, I think, what happened.
Yeah.
Like the movie, The Interview.
Yeah,
The Interview? When they try and shake fake Kim Jong-un's hand.
Yes.
That's right. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Because no one's got gastro at the moment. It's completely, like, where'd it come from? Nowhere.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm not sure.
Came from a wet lab in China.
It's good to all be back together, fellas. Big show coming up.
Great to be here.
Big show coming up, boys. I want to tease a little bit of it. I'm going to chat to our good friend Steve Gravina from Front Runner Physio in a little bit. Lots of injuries coming out of the West Coast.
Oh, boy. But minor groin for Elliot, apparently.
Just a minor groin from a bloke who's had missed the last 4 years with OP.
What do you think is a minor groin?
I don't know. I just saw the word minor and got very jazzed because I thought it's season ending.
Oh, no,
groin.
it was never going to be season ending.
It won't be season ending. He'll miss 3 weeks.
But there's been a string of ACL injuries. I think maybe a West Coast player involved in that. We're going to chat to him all things injuries, so we're going to do that a little bit later on. Very excited for a guest we've got on the show coming up. As we know, the BackChat sponsored athletes across the competition.
Yep.
BackChat sponsored backmen. There's some great players.
Awesome players.
And I don't mean backmen, I mean players, right? There's some great players.
Not good just for being backmen.
The man on the podcast today may be right up there with the top 3 or 4 of them.
Sure.
Sydney Swan.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Flying at them.
The Pelican.
Melican
Oh, man.
will join us a little later on. We did pre-record this one, and it's a fucking brilliant chat.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Gotta be honest.
He's the sort of guy that I feel like you could be in a dire situation, you call him, and he's like, mate, gotcha. Sorted.
You should have called him 48 hours ago.
I don't think you'd ever get a reply from the Pelican. You just call him, and he's just there.
He'd rock up.
He just knows. Like, he's that reliable. He's just like, no worries, mate.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, too
like
easy.
a stork delivering babies, the Pelican would be flying in. Pelican just flying in the answer to any of your problems.
It's like it's like a Pokemon evolution. He goes from the Pelican to the stork. He just comes flying in.
And he just opens his big mouth, and it's the answer sitting in there. Don't know what it is, but the solution to your problem is in his mouth.
Well, we're going to ask him all about that in a little bit. Hammer, you've been busy over the weekend.
Yeah, very busy.
You were involved in a kick over the Swan.
I was.
Can we have a little bit of a look at his action just in front of Optus Stadium, please?
Up the coasters, firstly, thank you. I was wearing the Western Fishers bomber jacket and took it off to then go up the BackChat podcast. Thank you. Up the coasters.
How'd you go?
Boost.
Absolutely ripped a spiral.
You moose and hurry. Did ya?
Did you feel it off the foot?
Off the foot, just
feel
a
it.
perfect spiral. 53.4 metres.
53 metres.
53.4. Yeah, 53.1 was the score to beat, and I just set up beat it by a little bit.
Is that right?
You knew what you had to do.
Very, yeah. I hit it a bit flat, to be fair.
It
looked low.
a bit, yeah.
It was purposely out to the right because it had to stay within bounds. But the wind was blowing sort of over the right shoulder, over the left shoulder, towards the right. So you had to put it out there to get maximum distance.
How much, like, if there was a power meter on that kick, what percentage were you
I
at?
would say about 75. You can't kick a torp too hard. If you kick a torp 100%, it's very unlikely to go well.
I like that, the power meter.
So it was about, I would have been about a 70, 75, 76.
So this is with our good friends over at Triple M. Of course, you're putting them on the spreadsheet like I do multiple platforms.
Yep.
You're with Triple M some of the time. Very good friends of the family, and thanks for having
thanks for having me down there.
Did you win?
So it was
$10,000 kicking over the Swan.
It was a $10,000 prize for the 10 contestants, and I was in a special show, like intermission category, with me, Danny Shuey, Ryan Daniels. So
You beat
I
Danny.
beat everybody. Yeah, yeah.
Ryan Daniels. You beat Ryan
Yeah,
Daniels.
Ryan kicked out on the full.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah,
look,
he sprayed it.
we
Like,
like
I
Ryan's
watched
work. Like the right footy Rhino.
Love him.
Yep.
I don't think it looks like he's got a kick in him.
Nah, he kicked it straight out on the full. He tried to use the maximum amount of the wind,
Yeah,
but it just
100% power meter.
yeah, it went 100% power meter straight over. But didn't win anything.
One go.
One go at it, yeah.
You didn't get multiple
No,
offers?
I didn't get multiple offers. Just had the one go at it, and didn't get anything for it. But some fans in the crowd got some BackChat merch,
Well
so
done.
dished a bit of that out and
Nice.
get the BackChat word out
Oh,
there.
you got the BackChat. Yeah, we
Yeah.
put you in 5 BackChat t-shirts.
Yeah, I had 4 t-shirts, a jumper, and a hat, and so I just
Brilliant.
I gave the jumper. The jumper was a large, and the kid that came up and wanted it was with his dad, and he came up and I'd given a couple of shirts away. The smaller shirt that I had was a large, but I'd just given that to someone else, and all I had left was the jumper. And I was like, "You grow into it, mate," and it would have been like it would have been a dress on the young fella.
What's that like? Is it like
Slender Man.
Yeah.
He would have looked like Slender Man. The thing just would have been like
Slender
it would have
child.
been, anyway. He'll grow into that in 6 years.
The footy? You would have watched that then. You would have been boundary riding for Triple M.
Yes, I
Dan,
was.
did you get to watch your boys play us?
I was actually, for the first time I saw the surface, and I was at a friend's birthday, and I was watching KO on my phone,
Yeah.
saw bits and pieces, but I have no clue what went on.
As we mentioned on Friday's show, Dan, I think things started looking pretty gloomy around about 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. The social media team of the West Coast Eagles put a post together.
Yep.
Get up, it's game day. They rolled it out.
They went back to it. They went back
They
to the well.
rolled it out.
Why?
Yeah.
I did hear the fine, which was spot on.
It was
right?
spot on.
So the
An
first,
excellent fine.
First game that they were really competitive with in years, no post.
Yeah.
And then we won that second game, no post. I sent a screenshot.
Well, not no post. Post without get up. It's game.
Without game,
Something
Get
different.
up, it's game day. and I sent a text to a couple of my mates. And I said, "Do you know how we won today? No, get up, it's game day
Yeah.
post." So everyone knew.
One of them
Back
was
and
stupid,
did
like
it.
gather up, it's game day or something. For gather round.
come on.
By the way, I mean,
Yeah, no, it's different. We like it.
Different.
So they lost.
So they
but I
lost.
think it started poorly to start
8
the
a.m.
day.
hurt.
Look, Harley Reid, a couple of nice little things there, Dan. You had a double don't argue. I don't know if you saw that.
Yep.
I watched that about 45,000 times.
While you choked yourself in your sleep, mate, watching Harley don't argue people.
It was so good.
It
Zach
was
Merritt,
excellent, yeah.
Talking about all this fuss about Zach Merritt this season. Yeah, see you,
get
Zach.
out of here. And Ben
here.
Hobbs had literally just come on the ground too. He was the sub, just came on the ground and got thrown. Like Zach Merritt got fended off.
Yeah.
Ben Hobbs got thrown.
It looked like
was unbelievable.
anime, like, when everyone's trying to attack one person and they try to grabbing those bounce off.
Yeah,
It was
to be
elite.
fair, Harley didn't do anything else other than that. But
No, that's
all
fine.
you
He's-
needed to
he's
do.
a
That's all you needed to do.
16-year-old child running around there, absolutely
just
carefree.
doing whatever he wants.
I think the boys had not it in the bag, but they were absolutely steaming. And Jake Waterman takes him up. The Loosh. I mean, can we just say, before we get to the moment, the Loosh.
Loosh is on fire.
Sizzling. I think he's going to be out
sizzling.
for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Potentially
concussion,
little hammy
concussion and
maybe.
a little hammy, yep.
Like, I've been very fucking impressed. You're a very good friend of
Mate,
Jake Waterman's.
yeah.
You must be absolutely
I
pumped
was
watching
just
him.
pumped.
But
And
he's second in the
all
Coleman.
year-
He's second in the Coleman.
and he would have been equal first. But what he's doing is he is like sprinting at the football with his arms straight out
That mark
here.
he took.
And so you can't, if you ever play football, it's very difficult to leave your arms perfectly. There's some, the ball comes in quick. You
Need a
have
bit
to
of
sort
give.
of, you need a bit of give. Jake is stiff-armed here, running at full pace, and it's not leaving his
Clunky.
mitts.
That one with Laverde was literally on his ass, piggybacking him. Had the double fist either side, and Jake's just juked it.
Oh, mate, he is in unbelievable form, and hope it continues once he gets back. But Cripper.
I do like Jamie Cripps, and I think he's kicked a lot of good goals for West Coast over time. There's just a couple of things, it's sort of like you live by the Jamie Cripps sword, you die by the Jamie Cripps sword, and we died by the Jamie Cripps sword. What happened? What's he doing?
So
I just saw the fuss and then give away a free kick.
It was a bit of push and shove with Nick Martin.
Yeah.
And it was so the boys were getting stuck into, I think it was Laverde, Jake took the world's greatest mark on. And then the boys were giving it to him, and Martin went up and I interviewed Nick Martin after the game down in the room.
Did you ask him what he'd said?
We asked him about it, and he said they were having a go at it. So I was just sticking up for my teammate, protecting him, getting around him, and there was a push, shove, and he goes, I had a couple of pushes, and the third one got me down. And so I think what that means is I've flopped a little bit on the third one.
I think Nick Martin's rolled over that situation and gone, I don't know what the worst thing that can happen here. 50-metre penalty, going to be a goal anyway.
Yeah.
Best thing,
we get this overturned.
We get a reverse.
Yeah.
Cripper plays on the edge as well.
Yeah, he does.
Cripper's fiery at the best of times.
But Cripper went 1, 2, 3, and like the third one got him down. Leave it at 2, or just don't do it, or do that once the goal's been kicked.
Snake was filthy as well.
Oh, and he was devastated because I think
was
that
called
was
for it.
I think that was
No.
I think that was the incident where he might have like tweaked a little hamstring, and so he was like just on his horn, just sucking him in.
He's
and
happy.
then-
He's actually happy. He was
And
gonna
then
have to kick
looked
the
up and realised that it had been overturned and was just devastated.
goal. He was going to have to kick the
Kick a
goal with a torn
yeah,
hamstring.
Devastated.
So how many minutes left for that? When,
Oh, there
There was
wasn't a
about
lot.
4 minutes left, I
right,
think.
so
when
then there would have been a goal behind.
Yeah.
Yep.
Momentum.
You might have got a draw.
And Elliot
Take a
Jaiden
draw.
played the entire last quarter. They win the game with him in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
correct.
Devastating result.
They're competing well, the big fellas. Now, there was some injuries. Jake Waterman being one of those, Elliot Yeo being one of those, and Noah Long, I think. They're still waiting exactly what's going on there, but there is rumours floating around that he's done an ACL, which is absolutely fucking
devastating.
dreadful news.
It'll be worst case MCL, I would have thought.
I
by the look of it.
thought, yeah, it sounds like MCL definitely, and then they're checking out that major ligament. I thought, who better to speak to than our main man on the ground, Steve Gravina, front runner physio, from our friends at ID Athletic, bringing you Stevie. ID Athletic's just cashing in the big bucks on the sponsorship this week. I think we've got 3 guests coming up.
Wow.
We're going to speak to a little later on, which I haven't mentioned. I don't know if you saw the team that lost by about 580 points on the weekend.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
82 goals, 25.
Yeah.
I looked at that and thought, okay, big day for the forwards. What about the backs? What about the backs for Elizabeth?
Yeah.
So we're going to speak to a backman that played in that game a little later on the show. So
Elizabeth's backman.
back pocket.
So
He's the president of the club and he plays in the back pocket.
he's had 30 kicked on him.
At least.
At least from one guy.
At least, mate. There was 70 goals kicked from the forward. There was 84.
84.
But ID Athletic are cashing in today, which we
Yeah,
bloody
well done.
love.
We do love
IDAthletic.com. You can find all of your stuff over there. Our merch, our gear, our teamwear, whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
This is Steve Gravina with an injury update. Okay, I think we need to make this a regular slot on Mondays, Dan. The injury report, thanks to Steve Gravina at Front Runner Physio. There's a fair bit going on in this space after the weekend.
Not happy about it because a lot of it pertains to my team. But that's okay.
All right, let's see if we can get into it. Stevie, thanks for joining us, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, guys. Good to be here.
Great. Now, let's try and see if we can tick some of these off and get through a few of the injury issues, specifically to West Coast over the weekend. Elliot Yeo injury, lots of talk around his, his body and his ability to keep backing up. But it sounds like a small soft tissue injury. What do you see, and what are your thoughts on how that's come about?
Yeah, incredibly disappointing for Elliot. I mean, this is the most amount of games he's strung together in a number of years. Fingers crossed it's a low-grade soft tissue injury and it's not a recurrence of his long-standing osteitis pubis. But if it's just a short-termer, then great. Hopefully he can get through the reconditioning over the next couple of weeks and get back in, and you wouldn't have thought it'd be much more than 2 or 3 weeks. But if it's something bigger, and the scans will probably come back today, and they'll have to reevaluate.
Speaking of scans, I often find it interesting that a team's like, the team will be sweating over the scans over the next few days. I imagine like the player goes in, gets the scan done, then like they have to send it off somewhere. Like I imagine, like given the facilities and the resources, why can't they just get an instant result and then know exactly what's happened?
Yeah, that's a good question. The AFL clubs would all have relationships with radiology clinics because the cost of housing your own scanning technology becomes prohibitive for the clubs, especially the level of detail you need. So there's only 2 or 3 MRI machines in WA that are at a technology level that soft tissue injuries are worthwhile going through. So each club, and over here, West Coast and Freo have their own clinics that they'll go to. They'll generally have a few pre-booked slots on the day after a game in the event that injuries occur, and so they'll utilise them. But they just can't justify the cost of housing their own MRI scan because, the amount of clients that need to go through that to pay it off. Some of these clinics are running them up from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with clients all the time. You just can't do 1 or 2 across the week. It just becomes too expensive. But the process will be that the players will go through the scan yesterday. Then you've got the radiologist that you're waiting on, who's the expert to read that scan, will either jump on it last night or this morning, talk to the club doctor, and then club doctor will relay that to the medical team and the match committee to go through the process with the player.
I just imagine like you'd have even if you don't have a machine yourself, there'd be someone on call that could just nip into the radiology clinic and quickly check it for us. I don't know, flow them some tickets here and there. I don't know.
That probably does happen, Dan, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that does happen. And what we see over in the US, a lot of the stadiums have got their own X-ray machines and ultrasounds. I don't think it's got to a point where MRI machines are there yet at that level of detail. So maybe that's not too far away over here.
So another couple of injuries out of that game, which are concerning for West Coast fans. We'll start with Jake Waterman, second in the Coleman medal right now. He's having a ripping season. He's entered concussion protocols, so he'll likely miss through that. But I'm hearing a couple of little murmurs that he may have hurt his hammy as well late in the game. I was wondering, clearly that head knock happened. His head hit the ground in a marking contest pretty late. But is there any data that suggests that something like that could bring on a soft tissue like a hammy or a calf or a quaddy or something like that, or are they not related?
There is data in the literature around your high risk of an injury after a concussion, but that's usually in the return games and the subsequent month after returning from a concussion.
Right.
So you've generally missed a few games. There wouldn't be much in the literature about your risk of injury immediately after, but you could conclude that under fatigue and possibly with altered cognitive processing from an injury like a head knock, the risk may be elevated. And so, unfortunately, for Jake, you might have picked something up there.
Talking about ACLs, which I know isn't a great thing to speak about. There's rumours that Noah Long may have injured that. They think it's the MCL, but may potentially be the ACL. Brisbane had 2 players do an ACL last night. We know that's a 12-month recovery period. Is anything changing in that space, or is that once that sort of injury happens, you've got to prepare the player for 12 months out of the game?
Yeah, generally 10 to 12 months is the rule of thumb for these guys still. And I think we talked about at the start of the year, the first sort of 4 to 6 weeks are the prime time for these injuries to occur. The grounds are still a bit hardened, particularly sort of the western and northern states, and that potentially plays a role. And so for these guys, they're going to be facing sort of that year long on the sidelines. I think with Noah's, I don't think it's being included that it is an ACL. It's not a typical mechanism for your ACL where his sort of foot got caught underneath him.
Right.
But when that sort of inside part of the joint, so where the MCL is, get a bit hardened, particularly, it does put a higher risk for the ACL getting involved as well. And I think there was a fair bit of force going through there when he got tackled and the opponent's body was on top of him. So fingers crossed for the young fella. But yeah, they'll probably find out today.
If it was an MCL over ACL, what are the sort of time differences between those two injuries?
Yeah, that depends. If it's MCL, it depends on the grade of the injury and how severe it's been, and it depends on whether the injury occurred in the middle of the ligament or if it has been pulled off from one end or the other. Your bigger MCLs are up to about 12 weeks typically. Sometimes it can involve surgery, which can complicate things a little bit, but your more typical MCL, like a grade 2, it can be at the sort of 6-week mark, and something like Noel, that's probably a best case scenario for him if it's just an MCL.
So Brisbane have had Kitty Coleman, Ashcroft, Tom Doudé, a reoccurrence with an ACL. They had Darcy Gardner and Lincoln McCarthy last night. So 5 ACLs. I think Ashcroft was last year, but 5 ACLs at the club. At what point does that start going from, it's bad luck and these players are all out for a long period of time to, what's going on here? Like that's a reoccurrence of the same injury along different players. When does it start getting looked at more intently?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be getting looked at a lot more now. Sure, 5 in the first part of the year is a huge number. I mean, the average is 1 per club per season. So it is a lot more than what you would expect and what you'd hope to see at any club. So they'll be going over every little potential contributing factor with a fine-tooth comb. So mentioned the ground, I'm sure they'll be going through all of that, which we've seen it in the reports over here, obviously, over the years. They'll be going through their injury prevention program. They had a really good run of injuries a few years ago and had some really highly credentialed medical experts come in. So I'm not 100% sure if those guys are still there, if they've had a recent change in any of that space. But they'll go through their process to see if it's more than just unlucky.
You got anything else for Stevie?
No, that's
Brutal.
Yeah.
Mate, thanks for joining us. I reckon, are you happy we start doing this a bit more regularly? We enjoy having you on.
Yeah, it's good fun. I'd rather the boys didn't get injured as much, mate. But it's good to chat.
Well,
happy to talk to you more, but just if it's not at the expense of the West Coast Eagles, like, oh, someone else has gone down here.
You can't wish for no injuries, mate, because this is literally your profession.
Well, no, it does keep us in business, mate.
Very good. Steve Gravina, front runner performance, front runner physio, I should say, mate. Thanks very much for joining us on the show.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
There we go. Odd Athletic bringing you Steve Gravina with updates across the board there. Let's move on from West Coast, Dan.
Okay.
We've been on about them too much.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is there any questions coming in from over there, Nicholas?
Yeah, there's a few coming in, mostly about Hammer, to be honest. But
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. No,
Yeah.
like questions for Dan would be like,
Oh, well, no, actually, there was one from Desert.rat70 fucking whatever.
Desert rat.
Just saying, can we send him back? I think inferring like the AFL took me, and I was early on. I just want to say F you, Desert Rat.
Okay, fair enough.
Desert,
Yeah, I think
Desert Rat 70.
thanks for tuning in, though, Deseret.
Thanks.
And me, I do enough
You got
talking
one.
to
I'll
them.
send Dan. I'll send Dan back if you pay for a special comment.
Yeah, $20 and I'll leave the pod. $20 and I'm out.
Don't actually. That's $20.
50 bucks in.
What are the questions for Hamish?
No, Jimmer, he asked, hey, Scully, I know you're...
I thought they were for Hammer.
No, you
Yeah,
got
we
one.
have a quick one from you
got
from
one.
Jimmer.
Do you want it?
I
Yeah,
love
he
it.
wants it.
Okay. I know you touch on this sometimes, but can you elaborate why the Waffle Eagles get stitched up? How come they're not full of players like Hammer and Westy?
Basically because of the way the Waffle was set up, like the Waffle alignment with West Coast to begin with. So I don't know how much they've changed. They've tried to change it a little bit, but the overarching principle is it wasn't set up to win, for starters. But basically, the Waffle Eagles don't have a recruiting zone like every other Waffle club. That's one thing. They don't take any gate fees, and they don't. It's not run like a normal football club like the other ones are. That would be the main issue with it. So they've got real restrictions on recruitment and getting players in and being able to build a football club. They also, half the side every week is made up of players that are in another team, basically. And so they only get to see each other, Hammer would know about this, but you only get to see each other when you train, and that's it. Not really hanging out together during the week, which maybe you would experience.
Yeah, the biggest reason why they struggle at times is because at the moment it's because of their AFL list, and the last 3 years it's been because of their AFL list. When we first started as the Waffle Eagles, and all the rules got put in place that you couldn't have a catchment zone, you couldn't do all the rest of it. It didn't matter. We still made finals and won a final because we had the list size was 44 at the time, so we had a few more AFL players that were playing, and the list was healthy and had just won a premiership.
Good.
And they were good players. So, that year in the Waffle, we had Fraser McInnes was playing every week. Brendan Archie was playing every week.
I played a fair few
You
games.
played quite a few. Josh Smith played a lot. Keegan Brooksby played a lot. Matty Allen played a lot. Drew Petrie came back and played.
Jake Waterman
Jake Waterman was there a bit. So, we had a lot of players playing. And then 2020, they couldn't have a team. So, then once that came back from COVID, the list sizes dropped. So there's another 2 or 3 AFL players that weren't there.
Yes.
And then from then on, they were just ravaged with injury. So when your AFL list is good, you've got really good players playing Waffle. But in the last couple of years, they've been struggling at AFL level, and their best Waffle players have had to go play AFL. So the players that you're left with, yes, they're on an AFL list, but they're 18-year-old, 19-year-olds that could still be playing Colts as good Colt players that are just talented.
They've also got cap restrictions, so they can't go and pay someone a bunch of money from the VFL to come and recruit them.
What about the VFL thing? Isn't so much talk around they've got to decide whether or not they want to enter the VFL competition? Is that even legitimate?
Yeah, I asked Pikey this last week on the Scodown on West Coast Eagles channel. I was like, tell you what, if I'm not getting paid to do that, well, I don't know what I'm doing.
The Scodown.
The Scodown with Don Pike, CEO, and I asked him
Yeah.
directly, are you joining the VFL? And he said, look, we're not making a decision right now, but this is like a direct quote. He said, we're one of only 4 teams not playing in the VFL. So it's the 2 Adelaide teams and the 2 West Australian teams. Everyone else plays in the VFL.
Right.
So to me, that says we're just trying to figure out.
So they would fly over and play games away and stuff.
Yeah.
There's money for that.
What do you mean there's money for that?
Well, to send a team around, coaches, obviously there's a fair bit of cost involved in getting your Waffle team.
I think if you had if the 4 teams join Adelaide and like the 2 Adelaide teams, 2 West Australian teams, it would then be a national competition. It would no longer be the VFL, and it would almost be curtain raisers across the board.
Yeah, right.
So
Okay.
West Coast would play Essendon and beforehand. So that's what used to happen.
What's what happens in Waffle, right? The Colts reserves, they play each other, right?
Exactly
But
right.
what you would do is you just, for West Coast, you just stop selling half the plane to random punters who just want to fly with the team and fly the extra 15 guys over.
Good friends at Travel and Sports Australia. If you do want to jump on the plane, I'll make sure you jump over the Shelter Footy cast and you can jump on the plane with the players.
Well, you can, but that's what they would have to do. They'd have to stop selling the other half of the plane and fly the whole team over.
Now, Freo Richmond having him at MCG, I've got to be honest, Hammer, a couple of things came out of this, and I'm really pissed off at myself because I just thought of what I texted you yesterday. Number one, the biggest issue of the day for me, I saw Andy, your brother, get interviewed after the game. I'm not sure what he's doing
I got a photo of it.
in
I should have
front
texted
of...
to you.
Yeah, I forgot as well. I'm not sure what he's doing with his facial hair currently, but he seems to be spending a bit of time manicuring the sides.
I got a great story.
And
for
he
it.
is a dead ringer. We ran a segment on Hammer Ranks for Johnny Drama right now. He looks like fucking Johnny Drama.
Who is Johnny Drama?
Oh, boy. Can everyone... Like
You know that.
Entourage?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh!
Come on, not everyone's seen Entourage.
Jesus.
Best character.
So
Okay,
he
sure.
is a dead ringer for him. But the story behind that goes, and I had dinner with my family last night, and Andrew was on the plane, so he didn't make it. But his fiance was there, Lizzie. And I said, what the fuck is going on with his beard? And she just started bursting into laughter. She did it.
Oh, no.
She was like, she got the clippers out on the Thursday before he left and was like, she had no idea how, he was just like, I'm going to shave this anyway, but like have a go at seeing if you can like sculpt it a little bit because he's hairy. He's the hairiest of us, all of us. And it like goes halfway down his neck.
Oh, that guy.
He
Yeah,
sculpted it.
That guy.
He
Anyway,
looks ridiculous.
yeah, so it was like, just have a go at doing it. I'm going to shave it off anyway, but just have a go.
I mean,
Anyway, when you sculpt your beard, apparently, I don't really grow facial hair that much, but like you're meant to like, so go down here to like above your Adam's apple and like go out and like underneath your jawline
If
by
only
like
we
a thumb.
had someone on the podcast that does this.
How do you do it?
Literally like that.
Yeah.
You come down, like there's no real like, you don't have a measuring thing, but you can see like, I'm not like, it's not like down here. Like
Yeah.
these ones. He's rocking,
No,
that's
so
the
what-
exact
yeah.
photo right there.
Yeah,
That's Andrew Brayshaw.
Yeah.
So,
what-
but
what-
he's also running like the chin strap.
Yeah. So what
He's got the chin
what
strap.
she's done, instead of going like underneath the jawline, she's just followed the edge of the jawline.
Yes.
Oh, that's
He's got the
rank.
chin
So
strap.
he's got the chin strap, and anyway, he was like,
That's
"Fuck,
rank.
I'm gonna shave this." Left Friday and forgot the trimmers, so he just played with it.
Mate, you got to ask one of the boys if they had it because it looks ridiculous. If we can find it, I'm bloody
He's
lying.
got
I mean,
the chin strap.
Andy, I assume, is getting paid pretty well. But
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna
what are you
text-
doing,
who do I
son?
need to
Go
te-
the-
I'm gonna text
Go to a
this to you, Nick.
barber.
Yeah, great.
Go to a barber.
Oh, you've got a photo of Andy's?
I've got a photo of this chin strap.
Okay, great.
Great.
If you can text to Nick,
Yeah, I will.
that'll be great. We'll get it up in a second. The other one, so that was the big issue out of the game.
Yeah, that was the
The
biggest issue.
secondary issue is a little bit of football. So Justin Longmuir after the game was in his press conference. This is a quote unquote. We'll keep in dialogue with them, the umpires, and keep showing them some of the situations where we feel like he's getting manhandled. Of course, talking about their superstar Jai Amos, young forward, key and up and coming. I haven't seen too much behind the goals footage of this, but apparently he's getting absolutely bullied.
I've got a question about this. So, because what year is he in? He's third
It's his third year.
year,
right.
right? You as a defender, do you know when you got a young guy on you that you know you can get away with more because the umpires aren't going to respect the
Well,
youngs?
not necessarily young, but like how he plays and his strength. So he doesn't look like his number one strength to me isn't his strength. Like he's being strong. You look at I don't
Josh
know,
Tracy.
Aaron Norton or Josh
Jesse
Tracy.
Hogan.
I'm not wrestling those blokes, and then it's not saying that Jai Amos would be a pushover, but you don't want to get into foot races with Jai Amos. You don't want to get stuck trailing him around because he moves really well, agile-wise, and he comes at the foot really well. That's his strength.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at that as a key defender, I think, how do I beat that?
Yep,
I bully
you
him.
wrestle the shit
I
out of
just
him.
bash him and bully him
Right.
and scrag him and don't let him get a free run because if he gets any of those, he's a superstar.
Yeah.
So any defender watching him will be like, I'm just going to do that.
Yes.
But because it's repeat, I don't think Justin Longmuir would actually think he's getting overdone, but he'd also be seeing the work that's getting done. He's like, if I raise this, maybe we get a free kick or two.
Yeah.
That's what Bevo did with
Norton.
Norton.
With Sammy Collins.
Yes.
Sammy Collins was absolutely ravaging him.
Yes.
Which I don't know if that's a good idea because Aaron Norton looks like an absolute maniac.
Yeah, well, hang on a minute. Sam Collins is the wild man.
Yeah, correct. Did we get this photo up on the?
Yeah, we got it. It's
I can't wait for it at all.
Have you seen it? The photo? No.
No, but I saw
saw
it
it
live.
live,
I
yeah.
looked up on Fox
There he is.
Footy.
Oh,
Oh boy.
That's really bad.
You know
Look
who else
at
runs
the
the
chin
chin strap
strap.
and he does it by choice?
Eddie Ford.
Dan Const. He's been doing it for years, mate. He's got no idea where to cut his beard from, and he pulls the chin strap off, and he gets the gullet. He gets the gullet. This is like the Pelican
That's
gullet.
no good.
This is the Pelican gullet coming up, and if
Lenny
I could
from
ask
Shark
for a
Tale.
segue any better than that, I possibly couldn't try. Thanks to ID Athletic, we're chatting to the Pelican, Lewis Melican, right now. Okay, look, this is becoming a real feature of the show. We get some great backs on here on BackChat to just talk all thing Backman craft. And this man who's joining us today, you've heard us talk about him a lot here on BackChat. We're very much big fans of his work on the
Hell yeah.
field. And just doing a bit more research for this chat, there's some things I need to talk about with the man after a big win in the Battle of the Bridge. We are joined by our BackChat sponsored athletes.
Yes.
Lewis, the Pelican
Melican.
Melican. Like, holy shit, royalty. Now we're talking.
go.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having me, guys. Wasn't expecting that intro, but
Mate, we always make
Good
time
to
for
be
the
here.
Pelican.
Don't worry, the Pelican is all us. We'll add the excitement because, look, I tell you what, the way you go about your footy, mate, is just admirable. And I don't think players like you get enough respect and enough attention. So that's what we're going to do here on BackChat. How are you enjoying Sydney? You've been there for 10 years, mate, but you're a Geelong boy to start with. Didn't know
Yeah.
that. Jeez, I'm disappointed in myself.
yes, no, yeah, love Sydney. It's one of those things. Grew up in Bury, so down past Geelong. It's one of those things. I think I sort of don't really see myself as much of a country kid anymore. I feel like I've been in Sydney for so long. I've sort of adapted to the lifestyle up here. So I don't think mum and dad would love me saying that, but yeah, definitely changed a little bit, I think.
Mate, had a little look through a few stats of yours, just going back over the numbers. There's a couple of things that jump off the page from mine that I'm impressed with. Never bounced the ball in your AFL career, which is just brilliant. You've had one mark inside forward 50, which just tells me you're not even interested in getting involved in kicking things through the big sticks. You've kicked one goal in your whole career. I want to know, what was that? What can you talk us through the goals in your first year playing, 2017? Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was, we were playing Gold Coast, I'm pretty sure, out on the SCG. We were pumping them. So they were, I was a bit smaller at that time. I didn't weigh as much as I did now. So I was sort of playing that high half back position. My man just sort of got caught drifting up into the forward line. I was sort of sitting on the 50 and then they just skied a ball out, landed in my lap. I think I came forward maybe 40 to the 40-metre mark. And then I just remember, the thing I remember about is Bud coming around for a handball receive and Jared McVeigh just telling him to piss off. It's like his first chance at goal. Like, don't take this from him. So if I had given it to him, another 60-odd games and I wouldn't have gone near it. So I'm happy I kicked it.
What a story.
Denying one of the best ever.
Yeah,
no,
just-
no, sir.
But do you want to just chill out, mate? All right, the Pelican's got this handled. I'm just going to go back and slot this nicely. So it was a set shot, and it would have never looked like missing, I'm assuming.
Oh, absolutely not. No, I do a lot of craft on my goal kicking. So we actually do. I get a bit of crap. We go down, all the backs go down and do kick-ins and stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm probably more chance of having a set shot than taking a kick-in. So I don't even bother.
So what? So you're a little bit down on the pecking order with the kick-ins. Don't worry, I spent a lot of time in that area. So they just say, they say, Lewis, just maybe take your man a little bit wider and just make sure you get out of the space. Is that sort of operation we're running?
My mates give me heaps about it. I took one kick-in against Collingwood. Kicked it out. Josh Dacos picked it up and kicked goal of the year from the boundary. So I haven't gone near it since.
Oh, that's bloody good, mate. It looks like you got a great back line in Sydney, mate. It looks like you're really well connected. We watch a lot of your footy and love how you've started the year this year, you personally, but your back line must be great to play in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things. I think just our focus on making each other's jobs easier. It's not so much about who you're playing on. It's our back six versus their forward six. And it's just, it is. It's just we've sort of got that system working really well at the moment. Few bits and pieces, obviously, here and there that you tweak each week. But, it seems to be sort of clicking for us at the moment. So just got to keep doing that for as long as we can.
One of the best nicknames in the AFL, the Pelican. Have you had that all your life?
Or are we just giving it to you now?
Nah, it's one of those ones it probably wasn't till I got up here. I was just like Mel was always sort of what I got. I think Mum was a school teacher, so she'd always introduce herself as Melican the Pelican. So never really got to me. But then once I got to Sydney, from day one almost, I think it stuck.
That's good. One of the other great ones of the Lizard.
The Lizard.
We love the Lizard. What's it like being in the back line with him?
Yeah, he's obviously an unbelievable player. He's a bit of a character. I don't know if you've ever had the chance to meet him before, but he's pretty funny on and off the field. But his abilities on there, like I think sometimes you forget that he's 196 centimeters. Like,
is he?
He's massive. Yeah, he's so tall. And so just the way he runs and uses the ball. But for us as well, just his intercept marking as well. He's actually able to lock down some of their key forwards. He's massive for us.
We haven't ever had the Lizard on. We definitely
Desperate.
appreciate having him on. But
have to get the Pelican first.
Yeah,
there's a pecking order.
There is a pecking order in all forms of that word. It's a terrific use of the word, actually, the Pelican pecking order. Now, but the Lizard, I don't know if I've ever. Why is he called the Lizard? I just heard him called it, and then we've completely run with it. Gone. Do you know? Is there a reason?
I think it's a bit to do with his build. He's a pretty skinny, long person. But then it's also just the way he runs. He sort of just he gets his shoulders and just sort of wiggles them as he goes. And it looks like a lizard standing up on two back legs and running.
That is
so good.
Yeah, I think that's where it's come from.
Bloody brilliant.
Hey, back in round, I think it was 18 in 2017 when you won Rising Star, you were playing on Nick Revolt.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you retired him because he didn't play after? He played like 3 or 4 more games, only kicked 1 goal, one of the greatest forwards ever. Is that a sort of a feather in your cap?
I don't claim it. It's one of those things that was. I was pretty fortunate that he was coming into the back end of his career when I had to play on him. He was absolute superstar of the game. So
yes.
I was pretty happy with the way I played that game, but he still kicked a goal, which sort of pisses me off to this day. So.
You've kept him to under 10 touches. He's kicked a goal, and you still remember it. And that's bloody. So, have you been? I don't know if I need to ask this, but have you been a backman your whole career? As in, not just at AFL level. I mean, like junior footy, like.
Yeah, junior footy. When coming from a town of 900, so out through juniors, it was just I sort of knew how to kick a footy, so I got to play on ball. There was a few until probably I think I would have been 16 when I started playing seniors at Berry, and I went straight into the back line there, and that's sort of where I stayed. I think I played about 5 games at the Falcons as a forward, and my role there was just to stand in front of Paddy and lead out of the way, and then open up space. So it wasn't as enjoyable as I thought it might have been. So I went down back again after about 5 weeks, and pretty happy there.
What a man, just sacrificial as a forward. I mean, that's a true backman. Is there any better feeling than just flushing a spoil, Pelican? Like is there actually any better feeling in life than just absolutely flushing one up the arse of your opponent, ball getting sizzled in, and you just flushing one? Like, is there any better feeling?
Oh, I don't think so. I often think about every now and then we get the bags out at training and boys sort of practice taking hangers.
Yes.
And I just have to tell myself every time I get up there not to just punch it as far as I can. I think that'd be a great thing to do in a game. Just get up on someone's shoulders and just put it 3 rows back. Just absolutely send it into the crowd.
Now, I know you boys are aiming for a premiership this year, as every team always does, and the Brownlow medal is very big, and the Coleman medal is very big, and Norm Smith in the grand final. Like, there's some serious awards going around. But do you know anything about, well, I don't even need to ask you probably, because I'm sure you do, the Jack Buckley medal, the BackChat Backman of the Year, the race is heating up. So Jack Buckley was the recipient last year. You must respect him from afar, the way he goes about his footy. But do you know about the Jack Buckley medal? Do you know about it?
I don't, I must admit. As you sort of touched on at the start, I don't really think too much about kicking goals. I also don't think too much about any of those individual stuff. As long as we get a win, I'm pretty happy with that.
Well, I can just put it on the radar now. It'd be great if you could just take it back to the boys and tell them what the real prize is this year. The Jack Buckley medal, each week there's a 3-2-1 vote. It's similar to the Golden Fist, except we actually respect and award backmanship. Guys that can spoil, beat their man one-on-one, put shepherds and blocks and smothers and beat their men in
not
contests.
Giving them out to the backs that go forward or towards the midfield and get 30 touches. We're not interested in that.
It's not about cheap marks in the back line. It's not about getting the switch kicks. It's not about kicking goals. It's about being a back. Does that at least tickle your interest a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely up my alley, I think.
Okay, very good. Battle of the Bridge, mate. You just come off the back of that. How was the atmosphere out there? There's a bit of back and forward before the game, but from a player's perspective, it must be bloody good to come out on top and win that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think too, just some of the support we've been getting at the games. Like, we've had, I think even the next 2 home games already have sold out. Like, where our supporters really jumping on board, and even though it was bucketing down rain, they were still all there. So yeah, it obviously showed that it was a big game, and yeah, it was good to obviously knock them off. Always happy to do that.
You're coming over here to Perth this week, mate.
Friday night game.
Friday night footy here in Perth. Are you excited for the big road trip?
Yeah, it's one of those things, having a bit of a hit point of cork sitting on a plane for 5 hours is going to be perfect for it. So I'm looking forward to getting over there and get the legs moving again, I reckon.
Yeah, bloody good. Well, hopefully we'll catch you while you're in Perth, mate. We appreciate you joining us here on BackChat. You are our BackChat sponsored athlete, and so we got the Jack Buckley medal that you're going to be putting your best foot forward for. What are we sending over to Lewis?
Some merch.
Bit of merch, maybe a BackChat ale.
BackChat ale, some beers. Yep.
So, mate, you've been representing the podcast brilliantly.
Yeah, thank you.
Please go forth and continue your season, because you're an absolute fucking gun, and we love watching you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Good man.
Hi, I'm Will, and I'm a backman.
Hi, I'm Gov, and I'm a Paywise ambassador.
And you're a backman.
And a Paywise ambassador. And a lot of people are always asking me what a novated lease is about.
What exactly do you tell them about, mate? Spoiling, winning premierships, all Australians, mate. It's all you're good for. You're a backman.
Yeah, and more. Skelly, you're a big dog in the media now. Arguably the biggest in Australia, if you ask yourself. I've spoken to a lot of Paywise customers, and I'm a man of the people.
Is that right, man of the people? What do you speak to the customers about? Your All-Australian jackets you won while I was playing on your man in the back line?
I wouldn't even know where my All-Australian jackets are, actually. But I do know the best way to get a new car is through Paywise novated leasing.
Is that right?
Guaranteed.
Tell you what, champion, you sound like you know a lot about novated leases. Tell me all about it.
Well, novated leases allow you to pay for your car using pre-tax income. So you pay much less tax and save heaps of money.
Save heaps of money. Now, it's all starting to make sense why Moneybags McGovern wants to get involved.
No, I'm serious. It does not matter how much money you make. Novated leases from Paywise allow you to make one payment each payday. And that covers your vehicle finance, insurance, registration, fuel, servicing and tyres.
You know what then, mate? You better tell Maddie then, because she runs all your bank accounts, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, and as you know, Skelly, happy wife, happy life. We made it. There's a calculator on the Paywise website that shows you what the costs are based on the type of car, your salary, how much you drive. Check it out and find out how much you'll save with Paywise.
Does the calculator calculate how much of your contract you're going to have to give to Harley to keep in the club next year?
No, it depends how his back holds up, because I've been carrying you for the last 10 years.
Okay, righto. Well, we're backmen. We love Paywise. If you want to find out more, contact Paywise today about novated leasing. Any danger of you actually letting your lines, big fella?
I am a backman, not a lineman, a backman.
We know.
Yeah, I know.
We all know.
You've got the touch.
You got the power. Look at the double.
Please have
Like
That's incredible.
I am one unsurprised because I knew I was correct, but I'm not surprised at the brilliance of our production team because that is just a perfect illustration of the butchering.
The double chin strap.
So I mean, Andy's doing it by mistake. Coxie's been choosing to do this for years.
Yep.
I'm talking 2010 type operation. He's been rolling that. Cox, and I tell him all the time, mate, what's going on with your fucking neckline of the beard?
Yeah.
He's got like the extended chin strap.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Yeah.
He probably
Yeah.
needs to have a bit more hair as well, just to cover the neck.
Let him be, mate. Lenny from Shark Tale.
BackChat Backman of the Year. Thanks to TABtouch. You heard the little sting come in. Look, it's heating up, and there's some big news this week. Big news, really.
Massive news.
Mate, you've run the numbers through the algorithm.
I have.
And
Some interesting things have come out of the week.
can you run us through it a little bit, please?
I can. So, a few things. There's been a record set.
Wow.
So Alex Pearce set the record, and we didn't give Alex enough credit earlier in the season. He set the record, I think, in round 3. I reckon he got 3 votes.
So just to explain with the algorithm, people think we're joking around with it. There's
No,
a number
I've
being
got
spit
a-
out from games.
Yeah, I've got a physical algorithm that
and there is a number.
there is a number
You
that
studied
gets-
maths, like, this is
I
legit.
studied mathematics.
There's a JBS.
There's the JBS, the Jack Buckley score. There is a number that gets spat out. Alex Pearce in round 3, I think it was. Someone can fact check me, but I'm pretty sure it was round 3.
Big.
Set the record
Big.
for the biggest score on the JBS. And
Great.
that score, I think, was 8.3. 8.3. And that was like miles ahead of everyone else. The next best had up to that point was like 6.
Someone won like
6.
5-4 the other day.
Yeah, 5-4 gets it done sometimes.
Okay.
Like anything above 5 is a really good score.
Yeah.
And,
This is like
and
Moneyball
Alex
shit.
Pearce just went nuts and got 8.3.
Thanks for coming.
Someone's got 8.8.
Holy.
Someone has got 8.8.
8.8.
8.8 and just shitted in. Like the best score ever.
I
There's
will-
also been a controversy that I've had to address.
Knowing who the 3 votes are, I'm unsurprised, but we'll continue on.
I've had to address a controversy.
Right.
Because the algorithm, I've had to change it due to one. There's had to be an adjustment and
Yeah.
a change.
Which can happen.
Can
Algorithms
happen,
can be
yeah.
adjusted and changes. Mate.
And the reason being is that Ben Miller got votes.
Right.
And
Well.
He's gotten votes in the past.
He has gotten votes in
He's
the
a good
past.
player.
He's a very good
player.
player.
Big fan of big fan of BackChat.
Yeah, massive fan of
We
BackChat.
love Ben
I
Miller.
think Ben would be the first to put his hand up and say he was beaten on the weekend.
Yeah.
He's been pretty
That's
comprehensive.
well said.
He was comprehensively beaten on the weekend. Josh Tracy had a breakout game. Probably the best game of Josh Tracy's career.
Ben Miller's on him for a little bit.
And I was on him for at least 95% of the
We
game.
know that no, but the back 6 plays on.
Yeah, the back 6 plays, he was beaten.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Ben Miller was beaten on the weekend, and there has been a modification on the back of that. I have looked back posthumously, and this wouldn't have affected any other votes.
So going forward,
Okay.
this
Going forward,
adjustment,
this adjustment stays, and it wouldn't have affected any of the other votes. Ben
Well, that's
was,
good to know.
It's
Okay.
great to know. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, Ben, I tip my hat to you, but I think you would tip your hat to Josh. At
We
the
will
same
also
time.
say, Ben, we know it's not your fault.
Yeah, God no.
The midfield need to just
Yeah, midfield need to help
contain
you
it a little bit for you.
So for the 2024 Jack Buckley medal, the votes go as follows. Thanks
So-
to TABtouch, BackChat Backman of the Year.
Yeah, we got one vote in, and this guy was good.
Yep.
He has been good all year. He'd be
on-
up there.
He's on 2 votes. He's in 5th.
He's on in 5th. Darcy Moore.
Yeah.
Very,
Well done,
very
Darcy.
good. Well done, Darcy.
Skipper.
I thought Darcy was excellent. Charlie Curnow was well-ish held. I think
Yep.
he kicked 2 goals, but was reasonably well
They
held.
win.
They win, and he was very good. So 1 vote to Darcy Moore.
Check.
Wasn't the best Collingwood backman of the day.
Wow.
Wasn't the best Collingwood backman of the day.
3 votes to a Collingwood player.
2 votes to Jeremy Howe gets the 2 votes.
Okay.
He was exceptional. Yeah, claps
Yeah,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Claps Jeremy. Now, we like to say, some people may say that Jeremy does a bit too many flashy things. He's not really, but geez, he was dour on the weekend. He
Dour?
played a dour type game from
See,
Jeremy.
I don't think we expect that from Jeremy.
No, we don't.
We used to hangers.
Yep, we used to hangers.
Forward line.
Yep, we
He was wasted
yep.
up there.
He wound the clock back to what a true backman should be, and he was exceptional on the weekend.
He
And
is-
the algorithm gave him the 2 votes.
And he's
Okay.
an equal 5th
an equal
alongside Darcy
So he
Moore.
actually got, just for reference, because we're about to give 3 votes away. 2 votes, Jeremy Howe got 6.2, I think was his score.
Okay.
6.2.
That's
That
great.
was
They would have got 3 last week.
Should we... we've got a video for the 3 voter, or do you want to announce who it is? Do you want to announce some... You tell me.
I'm happy for you to play the video.
All right, let's roll the
Roll
tape.
tape.
3 votes, ladies and gentlemen. If you can see the game, Sydney v GWS.
Bang!
Wow. That's a 1-on-1 win.
He's holding him. Great.
Logan McDonald, that's not a free kick. How about you piss off? What about this? Bang! Wow, drop mark.
Purposely dropped the mark because he didn't want to take it.
Great, we love it. Absolutely brilliant. Good
3,
pressure from the midfield, I will say.
1.
Thank you
bang,
very much.
Interception.
Mark.
Jack.
Oh, look at him.
Wow.
He looks good in the black, doesn't
Jack
He looks beautiful
Buckley
in the stealth.
the Jack Buckley medal. It tells me he's on 4 votes. Had he already got a vote?
Yeah,
this?
he got on the board.
I thought he was
before.
voteless in his
Nah,
return.
He wasn't voteless in his return. Look at Logan McDonald. Like, they've set him up perfectly.
Let's
Not well enough. Bang!
Oh my gosh,
Jack
that
Buckley.
is a contested spoil. That gets me slightly aroused.
There it is.
Look at these inside 50s as well. They
This
just
is all in the first
pepper
quarter,
him.
under pressure. Bang! That's the
Oh,
same clip.
thanks
We've
very
already
much.
watched that
All
one.
right, we've done.
So Jack Buckley. 3
Well done,
votes.
Jack Buckley.
And
Right.
like
3
shitted
votes.
in. Well
So
done,
if you're
Jack.
sitting at home thinking, in the Battle of the Bridge, well, and we just spoke to the Pelican,
We did.
GWS lose significantly. Well, I can tell you the coaches' votes have come in, and 9 of the 10 votes, they went to Sydney players.
Yep.
The only vote to a GWS player, Jack Buckley.
Jack.
Wow.
Jack
That's
Buckley was
huge.
excellent on the way. And, I mean, we sing his praises
Yep.
all the time.
Oh, they've been sung.
They've been very well sung. Yesterday, 9:54 a.m., I get a text from Jack Buckley.
Wow. Wow.
This was after a Battle of the Bridge loss, mind you. So he's obviously in his wounds. But he goes, firstly, well done on that open letter. Got the traction it deserved from the heart and clearly articulated. Thanks, Jack.
I think Jack.
Secondly, and more importantly, I was on YouTube the other night on Friday and saw you and Scully's live stream.
Oh, thank you for
me in
joining us, Jack.
Had me in hysterics doing the top 5 worst musical performances into that Brisbane video, which was the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Shadow Braid.
Into the blind rankings of those name GOAT podcast. The Kane Pettifer one is insane. Also, digging into that Brisbane video a little bit deeper, that felt like a scene from The Office. What the fuck was going on?
Yes.
Who gets a rookie extension up to do a speech?
Yeah. Like, I'll just leave
And
you to
who
say a
is the
few
bloke
words.
speaking? It'd be like he has no idea who the kid is.
Oh, that is brilliant. So Jack Buckley, ladies and gentlemen, making a move.
Very good.
Yeah.
He's moved onto the podium into 3rd position. So the leaderboard is as follows. In the TABtouch BackChat Backman of the Year for the Jack Buckley medal, Alex Pearce sits at the top alongside Harris Andrews, both on 8 votes.
I got something else real quick.
Second place, you can finish me off in a second. Jacob Wiedering, he's on 5 votes, having a big year, the big fella from Carlton. And in 3rd place, what are we laughing at finishing me off? Is that right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Usually save that for,
We're all kids.
3rd place, onto the podium, Jack Buckley with 4
Wow.
votes.
Just to round
Very
off this
good.
Jack Buckley love affair, I hadn't read this until just then. So, going on from our conversation yesterday, and the bloke speaking up there like he has no idea who the kid is. I said, yep, never seen him before in my whole life, and he's giving a speech. Obviously popular player amongst the group, to a very meek round of applause.
Thank you, Jack. Right, this is what
That's
caught
what,
my
that's what
eye.
I said. That's what I said to Jack.
Sorry.
And Jack goes, "Yeah, awkward clap, very weird vibes up there." And then he follows it up with, "They were a silent playing group on the field last week as well." After a 40-point whack.
Oh, that's
From
not
the
a
Greater
whack.
Western
I mean,
Sydney Giants.
that's just a clip off the page.
Just very
A clip off the page.
That's
Let's
4
go
runs
for
for
4.
Jack Buckley.
I like that a lot. Now, to finish off the TABtouch, and you're going to get out of here in
we'll
one
shoot off in 1
second. Mate. Before you leave, we had a bet on the weekend. Harley Reid to kick 2 goals. Return of the King. Doesn't get it done.
No.
What did you just read to me before?
Channel 9, World of Sports, whatever their footy Twitter page is called, tweeted about an hour and a half
Footy
ago.
on 9.
Footy on 9, sorry. Don't know what I'm talking about. Could we see Harley Reid in completely different colours soon? Question mark. Eyeballs emoji.
Honestly, I am already sick to death of the over coverage of Harley Reid. And I feel bad that we put him in a bet. He won't be putting in any more bets for TABtouch. All right, we love him too much. I'm ready to clamp down. I'm ready to start calling out people that are giving this kid coverage for no fucking reason. He's in his 7th game of AFL.
Yep.
What are we talking about? He's got a 3-year deal, rookie contract. He's the number 1 draft pick, and we're asking. It's tradies going on. Okay, could he be linked to someone else? Could another side want him? Fucking oath they want him. He's the best player in the comp.
Tom Morris said Bombers. He's linked to the Bombers.
Tom,
I messaged Tom and I said, Tom, that's sickening behaviour.
wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, Tom.
Wrap it.
Jeez. Anyway, that's probably me. You win some, you would lose more. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. We've got something special brewing for our little bet or little thing this week.
Do we?
It involves a PlayStation.
Oh, yes. Can't wait to do this.
Yeah, correct. Now, we've got a very special new segment that's been rolling out on BackChat. Are you going to leave us?
Yeah, I'm going to go. Right.
Yeah, go.
I had to leave.
go
Are you going
represent
to
the
state
state.
training?
Yeah, state training tonight.
Go represent the state that you weren't
Yeah,
born
how does
in.
that work?
Wasn't born here, but play football here, and this is now home, so I love it here. And
Great.
I'm going to go try my best to represent it.
Could
Bye.
we
Well
see
done.
Hamish Brayshaw in new colours soon? Question mark. Yellow and black.
See you, mate. Brilliantly done. Let's play a little sting, shall we?
What is this?
I would say, what isn't this?
This is good.
Yeah, absolutely it is. The BackChat back page, brought to you by BackChat Studios and the BackChat podcast, where we cover the important news. No, not Harley Reid. You can shove that right up your ass. This is about backmen all around the AFL
Yes.
from the weekend just gone. Sam Frost is reportedly saying goodbye to home and away, just months after he made headlines over his controversial COVID-19 vaccination stance. Sorry.
Sam Frost.
It's Sammy Frost, our BackChat backman from Hawthorn.
Right.
Home and away. It's believed Sam, who found fame on The Bachelor, will film his last scenes with the show on Friday after Channel 7 gave staff until November to figure out their vaccination status. What is going on here? The Herald Sun previously reported that an email sent out to Channel 7 staff claimed the network will only engage fully vaccinated presenters, cast, crew and players from Hawthorn from January next year.
What? What is that?
I
Nicholas?
googled Sam Frost. I usually just look for backman stories.
Yeah, good. Yep.
And I saw home and away Sam Frost, copied and paste. Turns out there's a woman named Sam Frost.
Yes, she was on The Bachelor.
She
I was
was
so
on The
confused.
Bachelor.
Yeah. What,
So
she,
wrong Sam Frost. That's on me. I apologise.
right.
So Sam Frost is still just busy dominating
Yeah.
forwards and
Okay.
running in spurty
Yeah.
sprints down the ground.
Butchering the ball. Just normal Sam Frost stuff.
Okay, thank you very much for the update. Jake Lever has described his relationship with Stephen May as like an old married couple. It's a bit like you and I, actually, man. One which continues to power Melbourne's impregnable defence. That wasn't it.
Pregnable?
Impregnable. So they can't penetrate it. I
guess that's also.
yeah, that's also true.
Weren't they yelling at each other at the end of the game?
Like a married couple.
Right.
Lever and May, the Demon superstars defending tandem, are best known for their intercepting prowess, but they're also prone to the odd disagreement with each other.
Great.
It's like an episode of Faulty Towers. The pair have again played
Mentioned
key parts
it
in
all once.
spurring the Demons, who trend towards another finals berth in 2024 after 6 wins from their first 8 games. Big win on the weekend for
Yeah,
the boys.
huge. They beat Geelong 7-0
Undefeated.
before that.
They were
Do you know
undefeated.
what the Fox Footy scorecard gave them? An A, not an A plus.
Surely that's
Couldn't
an
get
A+.
an A plus. No,
Kept
just
Tom,
an A.
So these two, the married couple, right, husband and wife, kept Tom Hawkins to 0 goals for
Yeah.
the 4th game in a row.
Just an A, no A plus.
What did the Eagles get?
They got a C,
Okay. What would you have liked from them?
B minus.
Okay. I really like this music. Halfback remains the role for star bomber for now.
Ooh.
The move of Nick Martin forward late in the Anzac Day draw against Collingwood looked a winner, but his brilliant performance on Saturday night against the Eagles was a reminder of why the Bombers have turned the former wingman into a halfback this season, and a reminder for West Coast fans of something they missed out on twice when he trained with the football club back in 2021.
Come home, Nick. Could we see Nick Martin in different colours soon?
Martin, who finished with 32 disposals, 8 marks and 6 rebounds, was a game saver in the final quarter against West Coast, repeatedly repelling the Eagles as they surged forward looking for a crucial late goal. The Eagles had 15 entries in the 4th term, with Martin amassing 5 of his 10 intercept possessions in that period amongst 9 disposals. So what I take from that from Nathan Schmook, right? One, I liked Nathan Schmook's last name, Schmooky, right? The second thing I take is West Coast basically lost the game by themselves by not drafting Nick Martin, and he single-handedly won the game for Essendon.
He baited Jamie Cripps into a free kick. That started 5 years ago when they didn't take him. Idiots. Is this copyright-free music, by the way? I really hope so.
It is now. All right, that's a BackChat page. Do you like the new
that's
segment?
really good. I just like to dance to that. That's fun.
Okay.
That's really fun.
See us next Friday for all your latest Backman updates. I really enjoyed that.
If you see something, why don't you send it in? We'll put it in the segment.
Oh,
hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. Send it to us.
Boy, oh boy, that's a good suggestion. Talking about things that get sent to us. Hello, boys. That was like Roy and HG. He used to have a hello, boys. Bit of love for the Eagles, second quarter against Essendon the other night. Harley Reid shoved the stat packer, Darcy Parish, over the boundary to kill the play. I don't mind that as a bit of a sledge.
Yeah.
Because it's not that bad. You're stat packer.
Andrew Gaff.
Bit of a stat packer.
Yep.
A teammate didn't like it and moved to whack Reid. However, an Eagles player, I believe it was Elliot Yost, stepped in and absorbed the impact.
I loved this.
Talk about camaraderie from a Pies supporter has sent this in.
Yep.
Give us our medals back, you dogs. That was a block back in 2018.
Yeah.
We bottled
Definitely
it.
was.
That's from Jack. Let's have a look at the vision. Harley Reid, see you later, stat packer. Bye-bye a Dyson Heppel.
Yeah.
Oh, watch Yowie. I love that.
No. And then he goes again. He's like protecting him again.
And he's like pretending he can't see him. Look, he's like not even looking at him.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And Harley just get to go about his business.
Yeah, the king.
So basically, I would like to superimpose BackChat, the podcast, on Yoey's head.
Yep.
Right? Harley gets to just breeze through, and BackChat, we're defending him now.
Keen.
I'm sick of all these motherfuckers in the
media. Yeah.
Sorry, Mum.
MFs.
Doesn't like
no, that's fine.
All right, BackChat sponsored athlete update. Thanks to TABtouch with this one.
Well, we talked to the Pelican.
We
that
talked
was
to
awesome.
the Pelican. Can confirm he's a legend.
Yeah, bloody awesome.
I can't remember meeting a man or a person. Don't know sure I said man. Just a person. I can't remember meeting a person where their abilities on the football field purely match their personality. Like you just watch him play, that's who he is.
Yep.
See ball, punch ball, play role, dominate forward. Little bit of a smirk, like a little bit of a smile. No laughter. Just gets it done.
Bit Kawhi Leonard about him.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, is it the guy that giggles like with a really high-pitched laugh?
Doesn't really laugh.
No, I don't agree with you. Brisbane, Harris Andrews, 18 possessions, 12 marks. Big day for the big fella.
Gets the win.
Yeah, against Gold Coast. They are just absolutely rubbish away from home. Can't have them.
I agree.
Mason Redmond for the Essendon
Kicked a point.
Bombers.
Kicked a point. Went for goal.
The Plains. Look, I saw this clearly as calling the game. He pressed like an impressive backman. Snapped. It was almost as if he was forced to take a shot on goal. And I think ringing in his ears was your advice. Do not kick a goal. And he sprayed it deliberately.
Yeah. Love that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mason. GWS, Jack Buckley, coach's vote, only one on the side on his side.
We should check in with him again.
I feel like today would have been a good probably would have been. Yeah.
Next couple of weeks, we'll get him.
How's the weight of the Jack Buckley medal 2023 holding up on the neck?
Like a Horcrux.
Is
that a thing?
I thought you were going to say something else. I don't know what.
Like a whore?
Oh, no. No. You did that.
What's the saying?
I don't know. St Kilda, Dougal Howard. Now, you may not have heard a St Kilda update on this little segment for a while because I think we forgot we had a player playing for St Kilda.
Yep.
Yeah.
We spoke about Griffin Logue at stages, even though he plays for North Melbourne. So we didn't speak about Griffin. Because I was looking at North Melbourne before. Callan Dawson, Luke McDonald, Toby Pink, the pink eye, Aiden Core, Griffin
Love
Logue.
Toby Pink.
I think we forgot St Kilda were involved.
Yeah, he did his hammy early in the year and then came back a couple of weeks ago. Kind of just a slow return, but Dougal is back. He is fully back.
What did he do? He had 19 disposal and had 13 marks. I mean, he is absolutely back in business.
Thank you. Good to see you, Dougal.
Thank you very much. There we go. That's our BackChat backman doing very good things. Footy tips. How did you go this weekend in the footy tips, Daniel?
4, I think.
I got 4. And I picked a roughie. I picked Hawthorn to beat Bulldogs.
Did ya?
And I got 4. So that's even worse.
My the home teams are just not coming through for me. It's not a good way to tip.
You can still sign up as a Patreon and join the cage. You can,
patron,
Yep. Sorry, far out. I may never
just
get
forget
that
the
right.
word Patreon. Never think of the word Patreon. It's the cage.
Sign up as a member of the cage.
Yeah.
BackChatStudios.com.au. You can sign up as a VIP. You get discounts on merch. You get some discounts on sponsors. You get ad-free content.
Yeah.
You also get an opportunity to join this league, and you get to play for $250 a week. So thanks to the Alford, the Ramrods, Nathan is heading to the Alford, which is, I would say, 400 metres from this studio.
So Nathan,
offer is still open, Nathan.
Send us a message.
We're 8 rounds in. We haven't had anyone
Not
approach the door and ask us to come for a beer.
Yep, and in full disclosure, a person that I would consider a friend,
Nathan.
No, not Nathan. Another person who won one of these weeks. Haven't heard from him. Like, we have a direct connection and nothing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Filthy about it.
Is that one of the fistball boys?
Yeah.
Who is that?
Can't remember which one. Was it Ryan? Yeah, Ryan. Ryan Robson.
Have you got a bit big for your fistballing boots? You can't remember your old teammates in the Western Fisters?
No, he was a fellow national teammate.
I understand.
Yeah.
Have you perhaps taken this?
End of November, early December, the National Fistball Tournament is coming to Perth.
Is that confirmed?
What?
It's 95%
you would
there.
know.
I've been
You other
I've been
boys.
pushing to try to get it here in Perth. It's gonna be here in Perth. They're just sorting accommodation and stuff like that. Late November, early December.
I completely forgot we had another interview to do. Adrian Watts, the president of the Elizabeth Eagles in Elizabethtown, South Australia, is about to join us. This man was involved in one of, I think, the largest bloodbath in Divi A football. He's in Divi 6, A-grade football, I should say, in South Australia. He's a president of the footy club, and he plays in the back pocket. He joins us now. Okay, on BackChat, we love to speak to backmen playing in the AFL. We get injury updates all over the place. And this story came across the desk, and I thought I'd really like to speak to someone involved. Not because of the big margin. Fitzroy Community Club scored 516-point win over Elizabeth Eagles in Adelaide's North on the weekend.
Never seen him before in
There
my
was
whole
some
life,
big
and he's
goal
giving a
kickers.
speech.
Joshy Rosenthal,
Obviously
he's
popular
kicked
player amongst the
29.
group to a
James
very
Ellis
meek
has kicked
round of
17.
applause.
Thank you, Jack.
Oh,
Right, this is what
that's
I
what I
thought.
said.
Thank you.
That's what I said to Jack.
They're
Kicking
forwards.
goals
Jack goes,
between
yeah,
big six
awkward
figures.
clap, very
Through the
weird
big
vibes up
sticks.
there.
I
And then he
thought,
follows
as
it up
soon
with,
as I saw the
they were
story,
a
I want to
silent
speak to
playing
someone
group
playing
on
the
the field
game
last week
in
as
the
well.
back line.
After a
for the
40-point
Eagles.
whack.
That's just
And we've got
Rosario,
a
Lewis,
I think
it's
that's just a clip
of
off
the
the page.
Eagles.
It's very good clip off the page.
Just
That's
right
wonderful.
now. He played in the back
I like that a
line
lot.
on the
Yeah,
day.
finish off the TABtouch.
Adrian,
Really
mate,
good.
thanks for
Yeah,
joining us. How are
weekend.
you, mate? Before you leave, all right, boys. I'll give you one more opportunity to fix it up over there. Sorry, we'll double up the audio. I'm not sure what's happened there. Boys are going to try and sort it out. That was our good friend over at the
Adrian.
Elizabeth Eagles.
Elizabeth Eagles.
So he's taking a leaf out of maybe the Eagles books. Look, if we don't get back to Adrian,
Do you want? We could play it on Friday.
yeah, I don't mind if we don't get back to Adrian. And I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. I sort of wanted maybe a bit of a jovial chat about, playing the back line, having 500 points kicked against you.
He legitimately
It was ruined.
took it to heart,
He
and
was
he was
ruined.
broken.
So I've been hearing some rumours that maybe we're going to be trying to get some players to go and play for the Eagles.
I'll go
in
and
South
play.
Australia.
Fine.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I think we'll come back to that on Friday. It was
Yeah,
a good
come back
chat,
Friday.
but don't worry too much. Thanks to ID Athletic for having 3 guest interviews. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
We broke the bank with the ID Athletic boys and girls. Now, coming up this week on the show, fellas, Jordan Lewis
Oh, yes.
from Hawthorn, 4-time premiership.
Good guy.
I had a different impression of Geordie before I chatted to him. Never spoken to him away from football, just on the football field. Didn't like him that much
Yeah,
as a
right.
player.
Yep.
And that's fine. Like I don't like too many Oppo players. I was really
Especially one that's like in a three-peat. I mean,
yeah.
have a rest.
He once dropped on me out in the field. He's given me the 3.
Did he?
Yeah, he couldn't even give me the 4. Yeah.
Probably.
And you know what? Fair enough.
Yep.
You know what? I think it was the 3. It was in 2015. So he'd won 8, 13, 14, and then they've dropped the 4th on
Yeah,
me.
Geordie.
So you can understand why I didn't like him before.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I like him now.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
It was a good chat. We did this over in Gather Round, and this is a bit of the highlights of the chat. How'd you play? Oh, wait.
No, I think I would have been shit house.
It's always like on AFL's biggest hit. What do you feel like when you see the vision?
I hope Fremantle came out and kicked the first 5 goals because you boys aren't switched on.
You beat us in 15,
Yeah.
so you got to return the serve with 18.
Oh, I can't really see. You might as well talk about that because I can't remember.
I can't remember there being anyone out there either.
That was probably the moment where, for him, everything exploded.
I don't think I can think of any that I was intimidated by a sight.
Yeah, like his
And-
chat was shit chat.
Yeah, but he didn't need it.
Yeah,
You don't talk to Buddy.
We were really calm on grand final day, which is always pleasing.
There we go. Make sure you tune into that. Wherever you listen to your podcast, thanks for joining us over on Twitter today as well.
Yeah, that's new.
Fired up Twitter live.
Yep.
Never done it. Had a lot of you joining in. So hello to you if you've been joining us. We do this every Monday and Friday. We have current players jump on. We have guests. We have injury updates. Doing our best to sit somewhere in the middle of the media land. Look, we're not a TV station, but I would say we do it just as well as that.
Absolutely.
We can go out on Twitter. I don't see any Channel 7 out on Twitter. I don't see any Channel 7 out on YouTube Live.
The only thing Channel 9's doing on Twitter is Harley Reid going to be in different colours?
I don't see
soon?
any Channel
come
7
on.
merch. I don't see any Up the Coasters. Dwarfy time.
Could you imagine someone walking around a Channel 7 t-shirt and not working there?
Bruce would, and so would Dennis.
Yeah, but they worked there.
Yeah, that's a good point. So thanks for joining us. It's been great. I have just a little mention of something going on.
Oh, yeah, go.
If you are in Perth, more specifically Freo,
Yep.
and if you do think it's Wharfie time,
Oh, it is.
one thing I do know Wharfie's like is having a nice, smooth, cold beer.
Boy, yo, 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 yo.
H&C Urban Winery, which I have a little bit of something to do with,
Yep.
which is my venue down
Built
in
it with your
Fremantle.
bare hands.
That's right. I knocked it right up with a hammer and nails. That's me. Tradie Scully.
I've seen you do that before.
H&C. I'll put the TV up today.
You put some stands on it and you put it on a shelf.
And then I wired it. I put one screw into the wall. How many screws did you put in the wall today?
Oh, mate, don't ask me.
100% less than me. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
H&C Urban Winery, BackChat Ale. They've smuggled
There's more around.
They've smuggled a keg into the winery.
Great.
And don't let winery fool you because there is a fully fledged bar in there. And I am going to be down there Wednesday.
What time?
It's a great question.
Am I going to?
I'm gonna go early.
going?
I'm gonna do my Fox Footy cross at about 3 o'clock, and I'm gonna head down there 4, 5 o'clock after work knockoffs. Come down for a BackChat beers with BackChat.
I might go as well. Is that right?
Great. I'm serving.
How are you at pouring a pint?
Hey, I've got my RSA.
Do you?
I
Of
can
course,
cut-
you'd have to.
I could cut. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, is there a lot of head
Excuse me.
when you pour a beer? Are you giving like a good amount of head?
Am I giving good head?
A good amount of head.
If you want to come down there, H&C Urban Winery and get some good amount of head, the BackChat Ale. It'll be last slab in Perth, last keg in Perth. So if you do want to come down, be down there at about 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Awesome.
Come down after work, have a beer, come say g'day. No event down there. Just come have a beer.
There is an event coming up at Lever Hotel, May 23rd.
Yeah.
Thursday night. We'll have more details
If
soon.
you
but
like
just
your
mark it in
waffle,
calendar.
stay tuned.
Yeah. If you like
you
Hamish
like Hamish
Brayshaw.
Brayshaw.
You like Skeeter Reddings.
If you like Lee Kitchen, captain of the Subiaco Football Club.
Great guy. Lovely.
We're going to be down at Leadable Hotel doing that on the May 23rd, but
more
stay
details
tuned
to
for
come.
that. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for listening after the fact as well, because we love you too. In fact, you bloody good audience. Paywise powering the podcast this year. TABtouch, big thanks to them. Shelter Brewing Co, Whippersnapper Whisky, ID Athletic, Mamba Digital, and our good friends at West End Plumbing as well, who have been absolutely working overtime at the Const household over the last 7 days or so. Sign up as a VIP on backchatstudios.com.au. Send us some correspondence. We love that. BackChat Breakdown will be coming out tomorrow. It's going to be a good one with the Day Cost Cole. Thank you. Goodbye.